What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Umineko When They Cry Answers Arc. Last episode, Jessica went through her trial and managed to kill Kyrie by burning her through a door. That makes sense, but obviously don't take that at face value. I think it was just meant to be more entertaining than Jessica punched her, you know? But whatever, let's just continue from where we left off. Rosa could be seen in the parlor, and she's probably gonna die, like she always does. Did she even survive? No, she didn't even survive the 5th game. She always seems to die relatively early, except for the 2nd game. Like, seriously, first Twilight 1st game, second Twilight 3rd game, first Twilight 4th game, first Twilight 5th game. If she's first Twilight 6th game, she's officially the most unlucky character in this game. The relatives apparently all wanted to be alone after dispersing for a short break. Since everyone avoided the parlor, the one place where people would normally gather, Rosa was able to have this relaxing and comforting room all to herself. That didn't mean she looked relaxed. Her expression was heavy with gloom and weariness. The cup of black tea that she had brought from the dining hall had gone cold. A pleasant silence. Now that no one was in sight, Rosa's heart finally awoke. She was always treated like a kid in the conferences with her 3 siblings. She had no influence at all. But possibly because of that, she was apparently considered to be a neutral party. The siblings would often ask for her agreement, sometimes even treating her like a referee or a judge. I have to make use of that, and turn the discussion in the direction I want. I have to find almost 100 million yen by March. That was supposed to be my great commitment, a burden I bore to help support that man's business. Now, I'm not so sure anymore. If I can pay off my debt, will he call me again? Don't make me laugh. Even if you do contact me after all this time, I'll be the one to refuse. But still, you're Maria's father. Finally, we're getting some indication on this man. Please come and see her, if only just once. Love is quite a difficult thing to stick to, isn't it? Who is speaking? Huh? Who? Though no one should have been in the parlor, someone suddenly spoke to Rosa, and she jumped. Oh, hello, Kanon. Just when did he get there? Kanon could be seen standing there. Even considering that she had been deep in thought, to think that she hadn't noticed him at all. You startled me. Sorry, I guess I was thinking so hard that I didn't notice you. Do you need something? No. The reason you are currently in pain is because of love, Rosa. Am I wrong? That's sudden. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maria's father wanted you to be the co-signer on the loan, and you accepted, Rosa. What a troublesome kid. You were listening to Kraus from the hallway, weren't you? True, earlier this day in this very room, Kraus had seen through to the fact that Rosa was bearing a massive debt because she'd become a co-signer on a loan. However, he hadn't said that her partner had been Maria's father. Why did Kanon know so much? You are a very wise person, Rosa. You wouldn't have become a co-signer without thinking carefully about the consequences. I hadn't yet moved to his family register, but I thought of the man I would soon marry as my partner. If you couldn't borrow the money without my name, I figured that helping him out was my responsibility as his future wife. And did that future ever come? I'm guessing this means Rosa is Kanon's target. Because they, at the end of last episode, Beatrice, well, the new Beatrice, Shannon, and Kanon are all supposed to have their trials now. So I guess Rosa is Kanon's target. No, it hadn't. So afterwards, Rosa was always alone, and Maria never had a father. However, time moved on. Nothing changed except that Maria, who should have been a symbol of their union, just kept growing like a living hourglass, measuring the length of the hell Rosa had crawled through. Because of that, Maria's growth hurt. And that's probably why she's completely insane. It's ironic. I tried to forget that man several times, but you know, forgetting him doesn't get rid of that debt. It was only natural. That's why she had to forget her love and do all she could to pay that money back. But you know, I also think of it this way. If I can manage to pay everything off, It'll mean that I've passed the trial of love that he gave me. I'll have to pay off my debt anyway, so how can I abandon my reward, the love I'll gain as a result, before it's over? Is it really so wrong to put off thinking about that until after I've paid my debts? It may have been a trick of words that only those who have suffered through love could understand. Even Rosa was vaguely aware of the possibility that she'd been deceived. However, if she was able to succeed in paying back the loan, he might acknowledge her usefulness as a wife. When that happens, she might be able to regain that love. And if she abandoned that love, this debt, this trial that he had given her, would become completely meaningless. Yes, for her, the debt itself appeared to be a trial of love. Actually, the very fact that she tried to view it that way might have been the blindness of love. Proof that she was still bound by her regrets and obsessed with the past. That pain still continued within her. At the very least, it would remain until she paid back that massive loan. And even then, it would take quite some time before she'd be able to lay her feelings for him to rest. Could this be that hell Kyrie spoke of? I see. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but there's no doubt that my world has been hell through and through. And how can that be put to an end? Who knows? If anyone did, no one would ever be crushed by the disease of love. That disease is a serious one. It sometimes eats into a person for their entire life, spreading to and hurting the people closest to them. That disease was torturing her now as much as it ever had. Well, since you bring up Kyrie, her story is like a wish or a dream to me. Though she had her man stolen from her, she persevered for 18 years. She never fell to despair, and instead continued to support Rudolph, keeping her head down and waiting for a miracle. Then it worked out for her. But then she died. Maria's still 9 years old. I've only waited as long as the first half of Kyrie's 18 years. If I gave up after just this, she would laugh at me. Well, not anymore. Do you think a miracle will occur within 9 years? If I doubt that, it's all over. In a sense, I'm a ghost. I'm already dead. I'm just living on without noticing. Don't try and fucking tell me that all along, Rosa was dead. You can't do that. I know for a fact Battlers interacted with Rosa. A ghost waiting for eternity for a person who will never come. That's right. That day when I naively said that I wanted to support... This is Rosa. That's right. That day when I naively said that I wanted to support his dream, I was probably already dead. I guess that really was a regretful day in the end. I have dreams. I want to go overseas. I'll fly out of this tiny country, make it big, and come back to you. That takes me back. At that time, I thought of lovers as a pair of people willing to acknowledge each other's radical dreams. That's why he would always happily cheer me up by talking about how I'd become a successful designer, traveling to Paris to release a new line and getting jostled by the press. When I think about it, I really had my head in the clouds during that strange time. We both lifted the other up, as though we were drifting about in the air. So when he said that he wanted to get out of Japan, I applauded him and promised to support him. Acknowledging each other's great dreams with nothing but words is a classic sort of pillow talk between lovers. However, when it comes to actually carrying them out, you need to be more serious and calculating. For a long time, I felt proud of letting him go on that day. No, I still do. But you still regret it. That's right. If I had sobbed and told him to stop on that day, I might not have fallen into hell. Seeing him off with a smile was my victory? Of course not. It's as though I lost by default by refusing to fight when the time came. I only glorified that loss. Saw him off with a smile as he went to take on the world overseas, and became intoxicated with the illusion that I was some brave woman, waiting patiently for a man's return with her daughter. Even though I didn't get a single call from him, and mail sent to the address he'd given me came back forwarding address unknown. This is hell. In this hell, I regret not fighting when I should have until the day I die. I've even dragged my daughter into it. I wish someone would just kill me. I want to be told that I've already been killed, that I'm a ghost. In love, if you do not fight, you have to crawl through hell. It's interesting what victims they're choosing just to fit with the whole love theme, you know? In which case, who else would actually be chosen? Who else feels love? In some sense, that's the wrong goddamn way. I mean, obviously there are relationships, but who else struggles from love? So far, Eva is dying, Kyrie is dying, Rosa is dying. Who else suffers somehow from love for another? I mean, I guess Natsuhi, in a way. Natsuhi's the only one I can think of who has something else going on regarding her love, or their love for somebody. I mean, I guess Erika seems to have some problem with love as well, but will they really kill her off on the first Twilight? I don't think they actually would. I mean, the only other character who has anything to do with love really is Battler, and like how they'll kill him on the first Twilight. I mean, assuming that it's the same culprit this game as it has been the other 5 games, which of course it probably is, they wouldn't kill Battler, is the thing. Is there anybody? Well, Kinzo, I guess. They could just bring his body back out, just like, there's the 5th one. Now we need a 6th. In which case, I guess Erika would work in that case. So, probably that. Yes, love is a fight. Will you win and gain, or lose and die? But please, have no fear of death. After all, it's a peaceful sleep. What's truly terrifying is a hell where you find the unsweeping ghosts of those who couldn't win yet couldn't die. That hell has no end. The battle of love is cruelest for those who never even fought, but weren't able to die either. So in love, you've got to make it or break it. Dying in battle like that is liberating. I mean, I guess they could just kill one of the 5 here, instead of Kinzo or Erika, or even Natsuhi. They could just be like, alright, Shannon, dead. George, dead. Jessica, dead. Like, there you go. They say the most torturous toxin for humans is made from love grown stale. The suffering it brings exceeds the tortures of the most twisted hells. She used this knowledge to try and embolden her double and little sister, encouraging her to take on any trial no matter how fierce. I understand. After all, when my desire to have Battler accept me one day wells up in my chest, I can feel the seed that resides there. It is up to me to kill that seed or make it bud. However, if I let it rot here in my chest, that poison will surely torment me forever. And that is the most fearsome torture in the world, even for us 1,000-year-old witches. See what happens to those who make light of love, this hell of Rosa's. Is what happens to those who do not possess the courage to make the seed of love bud, and instead allow it to rot. One cannot end that pain by their own hands. Interesting. Oh, slash. And Kanon just killed Rosa, right? Huh? Just now. Was that a red light? Oh boy. Pardon me. Huh? What? Just now, I thought I saw something strange. I wonder if I'm tired. It's probably just my imagination. Rosa picked up her cup of cold tea. When she did, she saw a small, red rose petal float to the surface. A rose. I have heard that in your youth. You love to lie. Wait, this is Kanon. God damn, I'm getting bad at guessing again. I've heard that in your youth, you love to lie on that sofa. Motorcycle gunman. It wasn't a rose petal. It was a drop of blood that had fallen from Rosa's eyes. In an instant, Kanon had beautifully and precisely cut just a single thread of Rosa's life. There was no wound on Rosa's body. However, several drops of blood dripped down from her eyes. Her pain, her uncertainties, and her worries were all gone now. Slowly, she fell down onto her side on the sofa. This had been one of the happiest things she had done during the happiest day of her life. Sleep well, Rosa. Your hell has ended. Why exactly is this the happiest day of her life? That does not make sense. Kanon took a blanket out of a cupboard and gently covered Rosa with it. To anyone, it would have looked just as though Rosa was sleeping peacefully. Those demons had not exaggerated when calling this trial a battle of love. It was at least accurate on this cruel but unassailable fact, that those who have their love shattered meet with death. Now, my part is complete. Did you see that, demons? Get the feeling— oh god. Oh, he fell. Oh boy. Damn. Oh, great. Is Maria also gonna be killed? Well that would make 6 then. I was thinking, like, this can't be this easy for Kanon, you know? It can't just be, like, fucking like that easy. Because the thing is, George had to fight Eva Beatrice. And, Jessica just had to fight Leviathan and Kyrie's jealousy power. So I guess that means Kanon has to fight, well, Maria, rather than Maria, you know?
She dared to kill my mama!
Yep, figured. That's all caps.
You dare to kill my mama!
Oh boy. One of the 2 great witches of Mariade's Sorcière, Maria. Though she was just an apprentice, the power sweeping within her had impressed even Beatrice at the height of her strength. In Maria's eyes, though Rosa may have been the Black Witch, she was also the vessel of the mother she couldn't help but love. Her anger at having that stolen from her was near madness. Sprite's kinda cut off there, Maria.
You dare to? Mama! 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 Ah!
Is she killing Kanon now? Maria's attack was too emotional. Because of this, she didn't notice that Kanon had vanished for several heartbeats. Oh. And she released her barrage at what had become empty space. In the meantime, Kanon jumped from wall to wall, around to Maria's back.
Huh?
I don't want to kill past my quota, but I'll clean up the messes I've made. Oh boy. Oh, and there's Sakutaro, of course.
Uryu.
What are you?
Diplomatic immunity. I won't let you target Maria or me.
Damn. The red curved blade extending from Kanon's hand vanished in an instant. Can't you just be done, Kanon? You killed Rosa already. Just leave. He tried hard to make it reappear, but when he attempted to use it on Maria and Sakutaro again, it vanished once more. Because of Sakutaro's power, he was unable to make either of them the target of his attacks. Oh boy.
There you are. How long have you been there? Uryu. I won't let anyone bully Maria.
Damn it. Maria finally noticed where Kanon was, and she slowly turned around. Kanon made his sword materialize yet again. But no matter how often he tried, it kept fading out, like a flashlight with a bad battery.
I won't let you get away now. I won't forgive you for the sin of stealing my mama away. I'll kill you, just like Mama killed all of them. I'll kill you without mercy!
Just like Mama killed all of them. As Maria howled, the entire parlor was surrounded by a cube of red magic barriers. It was a closed room symbolizing a barrier that Kanon could never escape. Damn it! Not here! Kanon cursed his bad luck. Even though he had fulfilled his goal in the demon's trial, if he was killed here, he'd be dragged off the game board.
Maria, don't overdo it. Yeah, I won't overdo it. I'll be a little more gentle than Mama was.
Okay. Red circles? Is that Shannon then?
Who is it?
Yep.
Pardon me, Maria. In accordance with the contract with Zepar and Furfur, I come for your life.
Ah. So, Maria is Shannon's target. I mean, I guess Maria does have some love troubles with her mother. Don't know why I didn't think of that. So Rosa, yeah, again, first Twilight. And Maria's gonna be first Twilight, too.
Shannon, don't get in my way! It's pointless, Shannon. I won't let anyone target Maria! Yes, I don't intend to target her in any way. I will simply protect myself.
Ah, I see. Because Shannon doesn't really have offensive capabilities, only defensive. A cylindrical red magical barrier surrounded Shannon as she stood in the center of the parlor. She made its brightness and thickness grow, and its radius suddenly expanded, filling up the room. It wasn't targeting Maria. This power was being wielded to protect Shannon's body, so Takutaro's power didn't make it disappear.
Shannon, would you let your feelings for Milady collapse in a situation like this? Get a hold of yourself!
By now, the shield with Shannon at the center had covered up the entire room. Its power crushed Maria and Sakutaro into the corner. Ironically, they were perfectly wedged between Shannon's barrier and the closed room barrier Maria had set up to prevent Kanon from escaping.
No good. Can't escape. I see. This is a closed room. This might be just perfect for that wannabe detective who's trying to deny Beato's magic. Checkmate, Maria. Is that acceptable? Yeah, it's fine. Crush me! Then here it comes.
Oh boy. Well, that was easy for you two. The entire room was filled with the red light of the shield, and the output and pressure were raised to their limits. Then, crushed between the shield and their own closed room barrier, Maria and Sakutaro lost their forms, scattered into a golden splash, and disappeared. Thank you. I couldn't afford to disappear here.
If you lost in a place like this, you wouldn't be able to let it go.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up if I lost in a place like this.
Separ, Furfur, we have both finished our trials. Is that satisfactory? Yeah, truly splendid. No complaints for either of you. Then shall we finish with Beatrice's turn? Oh, where did she go? To the victim she's chosen, of course.
Chosen? Then let's go there as well. Okay. So who's her victim? I'm guessing Kinzo. Even though Kinzo's already dead, it would still work for Beatrice, I guess. No, it's Natsuhi? Okay. Natsuhi could be seen in her personal room. Kraus had told her to go to bed, but she couldn't afford to lie around sweeping on an important day like this. However, she realized that she was the type to get excited easily, and that this sometimes held her husband back. So, though she didn't like it one bit, there was no way around it. It was probably close to the time for the break to end, and the family conference would begin once again in the dining hall. Her husband would have to protect the Ushiromiya family honor from those greedy siblings, all by himself. If she grew emotional by his side, she would just tie him down. Though she knew that quietly waiting here was the best way she could support him, that didn't make the waiting any easier. Natsuhi pulled a small treasure box out of a drawer. This was her secret box. Secret box. Thank you, Patrick. Secret box. Inside was everything from valuable items to mere rubbish. However, they were all precious, memorable treasures in Natsuhi's eyes. She pulled a small pouch out of the box. She stuck her hand inside it. It was a kind of charm that her own family had given her when she had married. A spirit mirror to ward off evil. Yeah, the mirror. Her own face was reflected in it. Youth doesn't last forever. Recently, she'd seen a bit of her parents and grandparents on her own face. So by staring at her reflection in the mirror like this, she felt as though her soul had returned to the family she'd been born into. Dad, Mom, I've always been so ignorant and unable to support my husband. Of course, her face in the mirror did not answer. However, Natsuhi continued. I wait here alone because I love my husband. However, I think love means being close to one another. Though I understand logically that staying here is the best way I can help him, I still feel wretched for doing it. It's tough, isn't it? Waiting for the sake of love? With a plop, a tear fell onto the mirror. Old, dear memories of her life at her parents' house rose up inside her. Now was the time for her to follow her parents' example. When her father came home late, her mother would always sit up straight waiting for him, prepared for him to arrive at any moment. She would always wait for him, kneeling in the entrance hall. And no matter how late he came home, she would always wake up all the children and line them up to greet him. At the time, I only thought of her as being exceptionally strict. But at this age, I finally understand how strong she was, persevering in her love for her beloved husband, even after being left in charge of the house while he was out. Because of your love for your husband, you couldn't bear to be made to care for an unfamiliar child. Oh, that was someone else. The sudden voice made Natsuhi jump up and look about the room. Hello, Beatrice. When she did, there was a Western lady wrapped in an extravagant dress. Who are you? Natsuhi was confused. There was no one like this in this mansion. However, though this was her first time seeing this person, it felt as though she had seen her somewhere else. Her mind had gone blank with anger at the ruffian who had snuck into her private room, and confusion over the appearance of someone she didn't know. So it took quite some time before she realized that this was the witch of the portrait. Though you murdered a baby you didn't know on that day 19 years ago, I will not hold that sin against you. What are you talking about? Beato had chosen Natsuhi as her sacrifice. She was Battler's enemy. Oh, what? Beato didn't know much about the details of Battler's birth. However, she knew about the fragment from the previous game, and knew there was a chance that Battler was the baby that Natsuhi had pushed off a cliff 19 years ago. Battler had used this blue wedge to protect Natsuhi from certain false charges. But if you took it as a confession by Battler himself, then from Beato's position, Natsuhi was an enemy who probably forced Battler to live a painful life. You killed that baby, who lacked your husband's blood for the sake of your love for your husband. So also for the sake of love, I will not hold it against you. I don't have a clue what you're talking about! Get out! This is my room! Therefore, please do not hold it against me when I kill you for the sake of my love. Beato slowly stuck out her arms and made as if to grab something in empty space. That grab bound itself around Natsuhi's neck. Natsuhi's heels lifted up, and a faint purple shape appeared around her neck. Natsuhi frantically scratched at her neck, trying to stop whatever was strangling her, but there was nothing there. So to an outsider, it looked as though Natsuhi was standing on her toes in anguish, scratching at her own neck. Show me anguish! Both pairs of lovers have shown their determination. I do not think that my love for Battler is inferior to theirs. Just as I will not blame you for your sin of 19 years ago, I will not blame myself for this sin. As Natsuhi twisted in agony, something she had been grasping fell from her grip. Since it had fallen by her feet, Beato dropped her gaze to see what it was. It was Natsuhi's spirit mirror. Oh boy. When she peered into it, there was a sound like a burst of electricity. That sound released Natsuhi from the invisible hands, and made Beato topple backwards like a doll. Oh boy. Huh? Coughing, Natsuhi tried to comprehend what was going on around her. Beato rolled over, and dizzy as though she had just bumped her head, she slowly tried to stand up. Her eyes were bewildered, as though she didn't even really understand what had happened. What is this? That is surprising. You can touch spider webs without trouble, but you can't handle the spirit mirror. Even I don't have a clue what's happening. Also, dog bark. What in the world? She had thought that Beato the Elder possessed non-human weak points, such as getting burned by spider webs and wards and having her power sealed by spirit mirrors. However, for some reason, this spirit mirror alone could apparently affect Beato as well. Even Beato couldn't understand what about the spirit mirror had had such an overpowering effect on her. But Natsuhi was different. She instantly realized that the reason for the hesitation of this unearthly being, this witch of the portrait, must be the power of the mirror. So she rapidly crawled across the floor and picked it up. Then she stuck it out so that Beato could see it. Beato still didn't know what was happening, so still sitting down, she looked straight at it. And this time, both of them understood the situation completely. Beato realized that the mirror was working some hateful power against her. And Natsuhi realized that the spirit mirror had the power to repel witches.
Why is the mirror?
It's because you're an evil witch! This miraculous spirit mirror repels all creatures of evil!
Don't point it at me!
With the spirit mirror still held out, Natsuhi cautiously closed the gap between them. She was cautious so as to prevent the other from suddenly lashing out and stealing the mirror, but she steadily moved to corner this evil. I do not know who you are. All I know is that you tried to kill me, and I know that you are a creature of evil, fearful of the spirit mirror. Begone, evil one! Beato didn't understand what was happening herself. She didn't know why she had to fear the spirit mirror. However, when she tried to look at the bright light let off by the spirit mirror, it pierced her eyes. Though she didn't understand why she must be afraid, she did understand that she must be afraid. By now, Beato realized that the spirit mirror was both terrifying and harmful. As it came closer to her, she felt an increasingly strong and painful burning sensation over her whole body, as though someone was approaching her with a hot iron. She couldn't even open her eyes because of the mirror's bright, painful glint. Go, return to the world from whence you came, evil one. I, Ushiromiya Natsuhi, do not fear evil in the least. It's no use. Why? Why is this musty mirror so... If I lose here, I'll be the only one to fail this trial. Just like George and Shannon and Jessica and Kanon, I also want Battler to acknowledge me and treasure me. And even though I finally managed to be honest with myself, in a place like this, I alone will be...
Are you giving up? Only you? Believe. A miracle of love will surely occur.
I love Battler. I want him to notice me, and I want him to acknowledge and accept my feelings. If my reason for calling him father and dedicating myself to him was out of duty towards a parent of mine, I would have been satisfied with no reward. That was a deception I used to fool myself. I love Battler, and I want him to acknowledge it. I accept it. I won't turn away any longer. I was born because I love Battler, and I want him to love me back.
And so, I cannot lose here.
Begone, evil one! There is no place for you here! Her determination had come too late. If she had it from the start, she would probably have managed to finish Natsuhi off right then without any fear. Because she had wavered and taken time to kill Natsuhi, and things had ended up like this. But now I am resolved. I want to love Battler. I want him to love me.
And so, I cannot lose here!
After all, I was born for Battler's sake!
Yes, that is what we wanted to hear.
Just after a sound like a beetle banging off all the walls filled the room, the spirit mirror was knocked out of Natsuhi's outstretched hand. It fell to the floor, and the stake flying around the room pierced it through it with a crash. Oh boy. Hello, Lucifer.
Lucifer of Pride, right here!
You dare mock me by choosing a single old mirror to be my first target in so long?
Huh? Lucifer?
Is this a new song? Because it's pretty good.
Beatrice, you must complete your trial. She's getting away. Someone, help me! Someone!
Now that the spirit mirror, her last ray of hope, had been smashed, and the number of strange demons had increased, Natsuhi could do nothing but run for it. However, if she made a scene and people gathered, the anti-magic toxin would hurt Beato. Now was her last chance.
Thank you, Lucifer. Prepare yourself. Ushiromiya Natsuhi.
Once again, Beato choked the thin air. This time she wouldn't let her escape. She had to end Natsuhi's pain right away before it got too drawn out. But her power wasn't enough. Though Natsuhi scratched at her neck, she also struggled to escape from the room. Her shaking hand stretched out to the lock on the door. A closed room is one of the concepts that allows a witch to be a witch. Just unlocking the door strengthened the anti-magic toxin a little. Since Beato was at her limit even within a closed room, if Natsuhi undid that lock, Beato's power would weaken immediately, and Natsuhi would surely escape into the hallway. Their strengths were matched. However, Natsuhi's began to surpass Beato slightly. The power of the living to live is fundamentally stronger than the power of magic. However, of course, Beato was mustering all her might. However, Natsuhi was just a bit stronger.
That's enough. Lucifer, do it. As you wish.
Lucifer transformed into a stake, and like the time she had smashed Natsuhi's spirit mirror, flew violently around the room. Then she struck Natsuhi's forehead. Natsuhi crumpled slowly. When Beato saw this, she also fell to her knees, breathing hard.
Hey, Zepar, does this count? Beatrice didn't complete the trial by her strength alone, right? That's right, Furfur. True, this trial must be accomplished without borrowing the help of any other. But maybe this is an exception.
A pair in love are as one. This doesn't count as help from outside.
Battler!
Oh. Did you really have to scare me like that as soon as the first twilight?
My apologies. Sorry I didn't listen to your instructions.
Instructions? Instructions.
Well, I didn't stay in my room.
Beato hung her head apologetically. When he saw this, Battler scratched his head uncomfortably. In that case, I should apologize too. I should have chosen my words more carefully.
No, you did nothing wrong, Father. I mean, Battler.
It's okay. Call me whatever you like.
Huh?
Battler had always looked at the new Beatrice sternly. However, that was gone from his expression now. True, the old you may have called me just Battler. At first, I might have tried to force you to speak to me that way, but that would be pointless. You are Beato, but you're still you. You can call me whatever you want.
Battler.
Sure, that works great. Can't say being called father is really my thing.
Yes.
Earlier, she had hesitated just to say Battler's name at all. If Battler had told her to say his name without honorifics, she couldn't have done so right now. And even if she had, that might have hurt Battler even more. However, now she was allowed to call Battler by his name. You just had to look into her eyes to see how happy this made her. I heard from Zepar and Furfur. It seems a strange game has been started.
Yes. Sorry for getting involved all on my own.
No problem. That reckless way you leap in before you understand is really like you. And, well, I've heard about the theme of this game. Apparently you're supposed to play it in pairs. Oh, so Battler's gonna have an opponent now, too.
Yes, that is correct, Lord Battler. If you can succeed in winning through our trial,
we will bless the pair of you and bestow a miracle of magic upon you. Seems these guys have been giving their power to Beato's golden butterfly brooch. That means its effectiveness is guaranteed. We've been stuck with each other for a long time now. Nothing wrong with playing this sort of game every now and then.
Battler. Oh, did you hear that, Furfur? It looks like Lord Battler is joining in as well. That's no surprise! After all, we've known since the beginning!
Welcome to our trial, Lord Battler. So, who will your sacrifice be? I've already done my part. Go and check if you want. Oh, really?
Very well, Lord Battler. Come, Furfur, let's go check. Yes, let's! But Zepar, this means that all 6 lovers have succeeded in their trials, right? What should we do next?
Who'd he kill? Erica, perhaps? The resolve of all 6 is the real deal. Let us test them further in the next trial. The two noisy demons disappeared. They had apparently left to go check on the sacrifice Battler had killed. And also so that Battler and Beatrice, who could finally look each other in the eye and talk, could have some time alone. Are Shannon, Kanon, George, and Jessica not here? Oh, hello. Not Featherin, this time it's reality. What do you think of the tale so far? When suddenly asked this question, Angie immediately came to her senses. Then she realized that she had been immersed in Hachijo's tale. She felt a bit defeated and tried to look displeased. You cleverly tried to distract us with this love trial stuff, but exactly 6 people have died, setting up the first twilight. Impressive. Oh, you're right, and realized. Amakasa clapped his hands as though he'd been outsmarted. Even though he figured it out before me, he played the fool. That's simply because the number of lovers just happened to be 6. The fact that it matched to the number of the first twilight was half coincidence, half design. It's a bit more interesting that way, feels more like fate. Humans have the bad habit of taking 2 meaningless phenomena and trying to link them together. Trying to make things seem like fate is a trick of Buck's. I guess you aren't a fan of destiny and miracles, lady.
It's like UFOs. Everyone knows about them, but no one has ever seen them.
There's a cool metaphor.
So, normally I try to skip over all the love and illusions and call them unnecessary, useless scenes for the mystery. But Okanogi disagreed with that way of thinking. He thought that by looking at things without love that way, the truth could never be reached.
Ah, you mean President Okanogi's catchphrase, without love, it cannot be seen? That's his catchphrase now, what the fuck?
Yeah, that. If I put aside my anger at the person who killed my family in a story, and even speak with respect for Madame Hachijo, the one who wrote this tale, then there must be a point to this depiction. After all, she's used up all these pages talking about love and trials. In other words, those are the themes and key words of this tale.
Oh, and there are many who claim that all words not written in red ink are not worth reading. It is an honor, child of man, that you have read the black letters as well. They're white.
Stories are written because the writer has something they want to communicate, and some writers feel that it's unrefined to lay everything out too directly. All of this about how you'll never reach the truth without love has shown up many times in the works before this one. This new work makes that even more striking. It means that is the one thing the writer wanted to tell the most, the thing that they want us to think about the most.
When you think about it, there have been many scenes about love ever since Beatrice first appeared. Even the first time she appeared before Shannon, she spoke clearly about how love was the single element of the world, and the golden butterfly brood she had given was also an item for love. She has said that she enjoyed sowing seeds of love and watching complications arise. And when Shannon stopped borrowing her power, the reason for her argument was also love. After her interactions with Battler started up in full, scenes about love were toned down for a while. But the without love it cannot be seen definition of magic has been mentioned repeatedly. Then, in the tale right before this one, when Beatrice became like a doll, several scenes made it seem as though Battler and Beatrice had accepted each other as rivals, or possibly something more. In the end, Battler had regained some memory, and his impression of Beatrice had undergone a complete change. And then, in this game, from the beginning until now, the word love has been repeated over and over again.
The tale you wrote keeps talking about love. However, that's not Maria's viewpoint or Beatrice's viewpoint. It's Hachijo Toya's viewpoint. Correct. That is what I wanted to tell. And it is my own sort of answer.
Answer? Then all the crimes 12 years ago were a trial of love started by strange demons.
Ridiculous. I didn't come here to read a romance novel you wrote. What I want to know about is the truth you claim to have reached.
Foolish child of man. After reading all this, do you still not understand? With an obviously condescending gaze, Hachijo shrugged. It was clear that she was trying to provoke Angie. She was probably hinting that Angie should just go home if she was annoyed. If you're going to read my noble work and not even attempt to see whether you understand it, then get out. Normally, Angie would already have thrown a fit and left. However, she couldn't do that. Though she didn't like someone else toying with her family's fates in the story, She was growing increasingly certain of something else as she read through it. Just as Hachijo's followers said, this tale really does have the same presence, the same scent as the tales written by Beatrice. The author was certainly different, however, because it reached to the real truth, it had the same scent. Angie was beginning to acknowledge this. Hachijo Toya was the one who had reached Beatrice's truth, an endless witch like Beatrice, who could add to the endlessly stretching parallel worlds of the cat box. I see. If one has reached Beatrice's truth, they can create a new tale, whoever they are. With this new manuscript, I'm sure someone besides myself will appear and reach the truth. Those people will be qualified to create new tales of their own. So there will be more and more endless witches. Yes, and these many endless witches will add to Beatrice's catbox tale. The more they add to it, the more people will reach the truth. When that happens, the very first endless witch, Beatrice, will finally be rewarded for writing such long letters, packing them in bottles, and throwing them into the sea. You might have yelled at me angrily and risen from your seat. However, you did not. Why? I hate to admit it, but I'm starting to think that your tale has some kind of truth or hint within it. I already have my own ideas. However, that's no more than looking with a single eye. Unless I accept a different viewpoint from my own and look at things from more than one angle, I'll never be able to see the truth in 3 dimensions. That's my interpretation of without love it cannot be seen. Very well, child of man. Perhaps, as the final survivor of the Ushiromiya family, it was fated that you would find the truth and become an endless witch. I exist only as a guidepost to awaken you as the true successor, Angie Beatrice. Sometimes I don't understand what she's saying. However, she knows something. And maybe she actually has reached the truth, as she claims. In other words, I didn't learn the truth even after reading the 2 message bottles Beatrice left behind. And I'm now reading tale after tale filled with hints. So, these hints are challenges, provoking me to think. Indeed. Perfect. I'll find this truth you say you've reached. It's a good thing I came here. That it is. I invited you here because you hadn't found it yet, child of man. Let the truth I see and the truth you see overlap. Just as you see things with a single eye, so do I. I am thou, and thou art I. Now that I found you, I can finally see the truth with both eyes. Interesting. So, the first twilight has finally happened. Everything so far has made me sleepy. You have some sleep in your eye. Huh? Where? Mind your own business. You have some sleep in your eye. As you wish, let's begin. First off, the first twilight. Oh, shatter. Okay then. It is 111? 111? I think. Well, that wasn't a particularly long scene there. I wonder who the 6th victim was. So we have Eva, Kyrie, Natsuhi, Rosa, Maria, so far. Who would the 6th one be? It's all been girls so far, hasn't it? Natsuhi, Eva, Kyrie, Rosa, Maria. Yeah. It's gotta be a guy. Probably Kinzo. Maybe. I mean, it's someone who Battler killed. So it could be... I don't know. Rudolph? I feel like Rudolph's really the only guy other than Kinzo and Battler himself that actually have anything to do with some small theme of love. And I guess Kanon, but whatever. Either way, I think this is a pretty good place to end this episode. Shorter one, I know, but hey, 2 days in a row. Granted, this would have been just as short regardless if I was on time 2 days ago, but still. That's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button. And if you didn't like it, fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!